The system we have inherited can best be described as medical marijuana in name only, more than in reality. With a hostile administration tugging the strings of state bureaucracy, the ability of dispensaries to open has been slow-footed. Doctors have faced stigmatization for participating, and non-smokable and edible products that could benefit patients have been blocked from the market. Politics, quite simply, politics replace compassionate care. New Jerseyans whose lives could be improved through the state's medical marijuana program deserve better access. Parents deserve the ability to do what they and their doctors agree is right for their children. The countless many other New Jerseyans who suffer from serious illnesses currently left off the list of approved conditions eligible for medical marijuana deserve access. PTSD not that long ago was not on that list, and Leo and others know that all too well. And doctors, by the way, deserve the ability to prescribe marijuana to their patients, again, free of stigmatization. In a minute or two, I will sign an executive order directing the New Jersey Department of Health and the Board of Medical Examiners to review all aspects of our existing medical marijuana program with a specific focus on expanding patient access. Further, and this is important because time is of the essence, and unfortunately the clock has run out with blessed Jake, but for others, I'm ordering this review not only conclude within 60 days, but that it also end with proposed new rules and regulations, or if need be, the elimination, rather, of existing ones. We got Jake the Tank right there. Our goal must be to have a program that is modernized, is compassionate, that puts the needs of the patients first, and respects the decisions of doctors in the medical community. And we just cannot turn a deaf ear to our veterans, to the families of children facing terminal illness or other illnesses, or frankly to any of the other countless New Jerseyans who only wish to be treated like people and not like criminals. I am proud to sign this order today for Leo, in Jake's memory, and for the many more New Jerseyans like them, many of whom are with us today. It is past time they be given the compassion that has been delayed for 8 long years.
Did I hear him correctly that Jake didn't make it? And did he forget the countless people that are in exile right now from New Jersey because of Chris Christie's tyranny, just straight up tyranny of medical marijuana, repression, oppression, whatever you want to call it. Chris Christie, the governor that preceded Governor Phil Murphy that just got elected, and is making it his goal in life to legalize marijuana in New Jersey, despite the ridiculous Senate, which even the Senate Democrats, basically what we're looking at is a fight to do the right thing, even with people trying their hardest to stand in the way. And you know, I don't even want to go back in time and really think about how long New Jersey has had a medical marijuana program, but it's been completely a dismal failure from the get-go because of the fact that Chris Christie did everything in his power to make sure that it was the worst medical marijuana program there ever was. So let's go ahead and read this. Get ready for a massive expansion of New Jersey's medical marijuana program. Here's the scoop. And I know if you watch my weekly show, I already covered this on that, but this is, I want to go a little more into detail. Plus, I wanted to throw that video up real quick right off the gate, because that to me is kind of like a, Chris Christie needs to see that. I've made several videos about Chris Christie because of his handling of the opioid crisis since he was appointed to that, and before that, his just ridiculous handling of New Jersey's medical marijuana program, which created an exodus class in New Jersey that left New Jersey to go to Colorado and other places where medical marijuana is legalized. And quite frankly, I just want Chris Christie to see that. And I know he's not gonna, because he don't watch my channel, because he hates cannabis, and he hates anything that has to do with that goes against the will of his donors. Chris Christie is a solid, corrupt, carpet-bagging piece of shit. There's not a single atom, and there's not a single like molecular structure in his whole existence that is designed to do anything but take the money and give the donors what they want. So he's a complete, and when it comes to medical marijuana, he jumped into office right when the medical marijuana program came into existence, and he did everything in his power to squish it, even with sick people right in his face saying that just better medical marijuana access, the thing that's already legal in New Jersey, just give us better access and our kids will be okay. He wasn't having it. He's more interested in letting the kids get treated with Adderall and methamphetamine in general, and benzos, or whatever they give kids. Pharmaceutical companies, they recommend Oxycontin. You can even give kids those now at 11 years old, I think. So this is Peyton Guyen and Susan Lavio, and these guys are pushing hardcore the New Jersey Cannabis Insider, which is a premium intelligence briefing that features exclusive weekly content geared towards entrepreneurs, lawyers, and realtors. It's a little side magazine that they're doing, and they're basically trying to reach out to people that want to get involved in New Jersey's up and coming cannabis industry or medical marijuana industry, which they're trying to get, all hands on deck right now. I think it's right here, somewhere in here. Yeah, that's it. Pretty much it. So I wanted to read the article too, so I don't know if you feel like sticking around for that or not, but here's what you should expect to see as far as improvements in the New Jersey's medical marijuana program. Because this is all we're talking about here. We're not talking about the recreational rollout, which in my opinion probably won't happen this year, but it could. Murphy really wants it to. Senate Democrats can be persuaded. The regulations are not going to get agreed on, I guarantee that. So it might be one of those things where they come down to the last minute and just decide, well, you know what, we'll just legalize it and then we'll deal with the regulations later, like they've been doing in some other states that have legislative processes involved, or fully legislative, which we're going to see more of, by the way. I predict by the end of the year there might be one more. It's not looking good on the East Coast. Everybody's kind of dropping the ball. Somewhere in the country, there's got to be somebody that we're not thinking about, or something that still has one last trick up their sleeve. The legislative session is about, is easing into the halfway period. So, it's anybody's guess what could happen. I've been tracking pretty much everything going on, and I don't really see anything that I would say, oh yeah, they're going to legalize weed over here and it's going to be like that. Like, New Jersey probably has the best chance of doing it. And I mean, outside of the ballot initiatives that are already slated to get voted on in November, and there's the ones that we don't really know if they're going to get voted on or not yet, but none of those are recreational. The ones that we know about that are recreational are definitely on the ballot already. And that's one of those is Michigan. So let's see what else is going on. I'm going to go ahead and read this, and then I'll be out here. I'll let you go. An audit of New Jersey's limited medical marijuana program will recommend that Phil Murray, governor, launch a massive expansion of the program, New Jersey Advice Media has learned. The suggested changes would loosen the program's requirements and add medical marijuana shops across the state, according to people with direct knowledge and of the State Department of Health report who weren't authorized to speak publicly. And this is funny because, in my opinion, they're going in the exact opposite direction as Chris Christie, who was trying to squish the medical marijuana program and make it as limited as possible with as little access as possible and make it as difficult for people to get qualified as possible and all this shit. When you embrace medical marijuana as a concept and know that, you know, there's medicinal benefits to whole plant medicine, you got to go the opposite way, especially if you've seen anecdotally what is going on with this medicine. You know, I mean, you can say all you want about anecdotal evidence, but until you've actually been there and seen it for yourself, or maybe it works for you, you know, you don't know until you try it. And it's so sad that so many people have this stigma against marijuana. They refuse to try it even in a medical capacity for something that they've maybe even read about that it actually cures or is one of the best things to treat with. So the recommendations will be unveiled Tuesday. Let's go back and look at what date this came out. Oh yeah, this is new. This is March 26th. So on Tuesday, which is going to be today, I don't really do that very often, do I? They're going to roll this shit out. And it's going to align closely with Murphy's main priority of overhauling medical marijuana in New Jersey. Expanded access for patients. Murphy ordered a 60-day review of the state's program in January after describing it as, quote, constrained. And what he said at the video, that was even better. Medical marijuana in name only. So is that minnow? But he wants to roll in with a shark and eat up all those minnows. And I can only rejoice and be happy for all the people that are potential medical marijuana patients in New Jersey right now. I know that you're already smoking weed every day, and you know this is shots out to you guys. You know, that keep it alive in the underground and keep it real in the underground. And basically, when the medical marijuana expands, it's just going to be like people are going to flip a sign up that wasn't there before or whatever, you know, and it's not going to be that big of a deal. Like, I feel like Murphy is only going to let the right way happen, maybe. And I mean, I know because I've been following the other people that are involved in this, and it doesn't seem like they really have in heart like real medical marijuana like experience and compassion. But basically, the profit-driven minded people trying to be careful and make sure that people that they want, that they're getting pressured by, are making the right amount of money off it, or that their rollout is gonna derail so that their pharma donors don't get too pissed off. I don't know. We'll see. Quote, we cannot turn a deaf ear to our veterans, the families of children facing terminal illness, or to any other countless New Jerseyans who only wish to be treated like people and not criminals, Murphy said at a press conference in January when he ordered the audit. Among the expected recommendations, dozens more conditions should be approved for medical marijuana program. And as I reported in the weekly show, we're going to be seeing a lot of things. And this package of additions that the legislative branch has proposed that includes 43 conditions to be added, including anxiety, chronic pain, and migraines. Expanding the list would make medical marijuana an option to thousands more patients. Now, what I'm hearing is that there's a new concept of this list that involves basically everything. So if you're a doctor and you have a consultation and you decide, you know, yes, I have this kind of thing, causes intractable pain, so I'm going to need medical marijuana. Or you say that and your doctor says, well, I think medical marijuana would be a better idea for you than, say, Vicodins. Well, now the doctor has that option. And you'll see that later because the expansion of the ability of doctors to say that is going to be another part of this package. The program is currently limited to people with epilepsy, glaucoma, ALS, severe vomiting, and AIDS, or cancer treatment, including multiple sclerosis, Crohn's disease, and other terminal illnesses. Existing medical marijuana businesses should expand almost immediately. Only 6 companies have been authorized to participate in New Jersey's medical marijuana program, which I have complained about before in videos. Even though the program is kind of small, like tens of thousands, 6, you're talking 6 people that are trying to provide for somewhere in the like area of 15,000 people. It doesn't make sense. And the where they're distributed throughout the New Jersey state area was kind of weird too. They had storefronts in Belmar, Cranberry, Egg Harbor, Montclair, and Woodbridge. And the 6th in Secaucus, I guess, is set to open in the coming months. The report will recommend that these 6 companies should allow to be expanded across the state, something they've long anticipated. As the industry grows and more patients are coming into the industry with new qualifying conditions such as chronic pain and anxiety, just those 2 alone are going to expand this program super big. Now, up top, when we were watching the video, Phil Murphy alluded to one of his complaints, and the way he worded it, I think, was a little off, because he said something about how medical marijuana, I'm not sure. You know what? I want to kind of like go back through that.
Than in reality. With a hostile administration tugging the strings of state bureaucracy, the ability of dispensaries to open has been slow-footed. Doctors have faced stigmatization for participating, and non-smokable and edible products that could benefit patients have been blocked from the market.
Now, I don't know what he's talking about there with the non-smokable. I think what he meant was that before, the program barred you from using edibles and you couldn't smoke weed, like whole plant marijuana. And the thing about that is, and I've been saying this from day one, those programs will fail financially because people want to smoke the flowers. I mean, why shouldn't they be able to? What's the big holdup here? You don't have any reason not to, not even scientifically. You can't even say that it causes lung cancer or any kind of ill effects like that. So since we don't have anything like that going on, yeah, why would there be this whole issue about... But anyway, I think he worded that wrong. I don't think he understood what he was saying. But that's going to grow this industry in New Jersey. Those are the things that they're not really focusing on much. They're kind of mentioning it here and there, and he didn't even word it right. But if you allow smoking and edibles, and you're going to open it up to chronic pain and anxiety, my friend, you're going to fucking see your medical marijuana program profitable. You're going to see your medical marijuana program expand, as far as the markets are going to blow up, the patient registry is going to blow up, patients are going to be satisfied, they're going to be happy. Your whole state's going to benefit from that. So that's all I'm saying. 3, more companies should be allowed to get involved. That's a no-brainer. They're going to need it like that. You can't just expect 6 companies are going to be able to handle the whole state. And if you are trying that kind of thing, that's the corporate marijuana takeover, mini monopoly style shit that I've been like, that's what I don't like, you know. And who am I anyway? I'm just some shitter that come along to talk shit, right? But the thing is, I've been doing this my whole life. I've been growing weed my whole life, and all different states of legality of weed being, you know, completely fucking illegal when I started growing it. So people like us, man, when we see this corporate takeover, that's one of the things we don't understand. Is like, why would you let just 6 companies run the whole thing? That just doesn't even add up, you know. Why even limit it at all? Why not just let it be a free fucking market? And the only thing you should limit is people from being too big. Because we don't, you know, this is the kind of thing, if you ever grown weed, you'll know that it's not something that you do on a giant scale without error, you know. it doesn't run like a fucking machine. It's not like, oh yeah, we can crank out 1,500 parts, no problem. Yeah, well, when it comes to weed plants, when you're growing like massive amounts of plants like that, it's a lot of work. So the existing medical marijuana businesses are required to be vertically integrated, meaning they do everything: grow, process, and sell the weed. New licenses would allow companies to participate in only one function of the industry. Some would be allowed to grow, others would be allowed to process or sell marijuana. Great idea. People should be able to see their personal doctor about marijuana. Now, when marijuana programs, medical programs first started rolling out in the late 90s and early 2000s and beyond, there was always this way that they were being restricted by only certain doctors would even touch the shit. That's changing now. Now that the science is becoming more like apparent that you can't ignore it, like they're starting to come around. Doctors are starting to be like, okay, I'll fucking sign your medical marijuana recommendation. What's the harm? And the threat before was probably coming directly from their pharma buddies that they make so much money off of. Their pharma buddies were telling their doctor friends, yo, don't fuck with that medical marijuana or we'll fucking give you the boot. I know that's how it is. So whatever. But yeah, in order to get a medical marijuana card, you had to go to like activist doctors basically. And it's still that way in a lot of regards, in a lot of places all over the country, because there's still a lot of pressure from big pharma to keep marijuana as fucking hardcore, underground or illegal or not widespread as possible. But one of the ways to expand your program is to just let any doctor write a recommendation, and there you have it. And like I said earlier, is expand the list to where there is no list. It's just like if you're a doctor and you come to the realization that medical marijuana might be the best thing to treat what you got going on, go for it, So this was a registry thing where the doctors had to register with the state to allow marijuana recommendations. They're just trying to get rid of that rule and then just tell people that their doctor shouldn't be afraid. New Jersey has more than 28,000 doctors, and there's only 536 of them on the list. So it's ridiculous. Doctors have said privately that the registry requirement keeps them out of the program because they fear it will alienate patients. They feel pressure they're in the middle. They feel pressure from patients, and they feel pressure from the big pharma and people that are above them that actually is where their real money comes from. So give me a break. I don't believe their excuse at all. It's thin, but whatever. It's unclear if some of Murphy's other ideas, like allowing patients to buy more marijuana at once or allowing dispensaries to deliver, will be in the report. But recommendations are widely expected to increase access for New Jerseyans. Last week, a state assembly committee advanced an even more ambitious plan for medical marijuana expansion that would allow more dispensaries and growers, along with allowing doctors to decide who should have access to cannabis instead of a predetermined list of conditions. Murphy's position on that bill is unclear. Medical marijuana advocates have long criticized New Jersey's program, saying it was much too small. Roughly 18,000 patients are enrolled in the state's program compared to around 220,000 patients in Michigan, a similarly sized state. Quote, "It was a program designed to keep people out of it," said Ken Wolski, CEO of Coalition for Medical Marijuana New Jersey, shortly after Murphy announced the audit. Quote, "It's a program that's not meeting the needs of the patient." Goodness. And yeah, so I guess I'm going to go ahead and maybe link that to you. New Jersey Cannabis Insider. and this is what it looks like. If you want to get involved in the medical marijuana or regular marijuana business in New Jersey, you might want to keep up with it right here at the New Jersey Cannabis Insider. I won't be subscribing personally because I got my own inside sources, all right. But anyway, yeah, that's the story going on in New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy taking a stand against the bullshit that is the Chris Christie. I don't know. I mean, basically, he knocked the cornerstone out of the medical marijuana program right when he got in. And every step of the way, limiting dispensaries, restricting doctors, putting his people in charge of approving conditions. So you knew things like anxiety and chronic pain were never going to be conditions on his list. Yeah, this is just more than making me happy to see this after the tyranny of Chris Christie for 8 long years. Thank you, Governor Murphy, and I'm out of here, man. Awesome.